Welcome to the Voice for Dads podcast.
Welcome to our podcast called Voice for Dads. This is our custom-made podcast studio for this very podcast. Today I've got with me my friend Donna. This is going to be a kind of promo video that's going to show what we aim to do with our podcast that's called Voice for Dads. So
Fabulous.
Donna's going to ask me a couple of questions. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And this will be our video that we put out there as our first recording.
Yeah. So, first one is, what is Voice for Dads?
So Voice for Dads is a podcast that I am creating so that we can invite dads on who are in a similar position to myself or have been in a similar position to myself, and they can get to tell their side of the story in a podcast format, but not just audio recording or visual as well, because we're kitted out here with cameras, so we're going to pick up faces, emotion. I'm sure there'll be plenty of emotional moments. We've also got a screen here where we can show any kind of maybe quotes or texts or emails that dads will want to share to tell their story. If you find this podcast interesting and it's appealing to you, you've probably been in a very dark place. So it's all about telling your side of the story. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
And then it's giving support as well to people so that they know they're not alone, because unfortunately I think it will be very popular because there's thousands of dads that are going through this.
Having voice is so important as well, isn't it? What are you hoping to achieve with this podcast?
So make a noise is probably number one. Make a noise and get voices out there. Ultimately bring change, because the Scottish Court Service and the family courts, you don't realise how bad they are in this country until you're deep in them. So yeah, it's literally just to try and raise awareness and give a platform to people who don't necessarily have a voice.
Absolutely. What kind of guests are you looking for?
So I'm looking for not just dads. We will have mums on as well. There's two sides to every story, but I am a dad who is going through and been through a rough time with my daughter, but also when I was a child I went through all this. So the guests that I want on are people who are maybe in the middle of the process and need support, are towards the end of the process, and then even 10 years down the line, they've been through it, they've got the experience, they know what it's like to come out the other side. So I want to have a range of people on at different stages in the process.
And I suppose having that end person, if you can call it an end, is good for hope, giving people hope.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So is it just for dads who aren't seeing their children?
No, definitely not. So there'll be a lot of dads who have their children in their life, who see their kids regularly, but will still be fighting a battle every day, every week. It might be an unhealthy relationship with the child's mother. They might not be working as a team. They might see their child being used as a pawn, as a weapon. They might see them being coerced and controlled. So yeah, it's not just for people who are having their children held from them or aren't seeing their kids, they aren't in their lives. It's also for dads who have their kids in their lives but are struggling and want to talk about it and get support.
Which is also quite an isolating place when you're in that position where you feel like you're probably a bit stuck as well.
Yeah, 100%.
What is your experience?
So my experience, starting as a child, I went through, my mother was a terrible person. She's still alive and not in my life. My dad is in my life, and the Scottish courts failed to protect me as a child. And now I'm going through everything again as an adult, except I'm having to watch my daughter go through it. So I am more than qualified, if you like, to talk about this.
And it's so important, like, you've got experience, do you know what I mean? When you're actually doing this, it's so important because that's
too much,
your passion.
unfortunately. Yeah.
But it'll give people hope and support and guidance, and at least you're there to share and help other people.
Yeah.
Is your daughter in your life at the moment?
Nope, she is not. So 1 full year today was the last time that I had her. She had a complete breakdown and didn't want to leave me. Then had to explain, you need to go back to mummy, but daddy will see you soon. And then, unfortunately, things were twisted. So it's a year today since I had her. I have spent a lot of money. Will continue to, because whatever needs to be spent, get any experts in. I've got several lawyers, high court advocates, couple of child psychologists, I've got therapists, I've got every professional I can possibly find to come in and help my daughter, and me, to be fair, but help my daughter. So yeah, I'm fighting tooth and nail. And this is why I want to do this podcast, because I want to offer support to dads that are going through the same. Because we're a lot of people who are lost, feel they don't have a voice, they don't know what to do, don't know where to turn. And I can help with that. Not just me personally, but the professionals and people I know now that I can put them in touch with. Then, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Can I ask you one more? It's not on here.
Yep, fire away.
Have you got hope?
100%. 100%. Because my daughter has the most loving father. Very stubborn father. And will not let her down. And my only job in my life now is to protect her.
So it should be the one, Tim.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
That's
Look forward to seeing what happens with it.
me too. So thank you very much for coming on.
You're very welcome. I will come anytime. Why not?
Well, you've got a story to tell as well.
I do have a story to tell, and like you said, the fact that you said that there's going to be, it's not just dads, like females can come on as well. Like I think that's powerful though, because there's power in that.
Yeah.
A similar situation to you can happen in the reverse as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's plenty of unfit mothers out there, but also unfit fathers as well. But yeah, that's why I want to get both sides on. I don't want this to be some kind of biased, women hating podcast. It's absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
I have loads, if not more, females in my life than males that are friends, family, supportive. Know everything I'm going through and been through. So yeah, there will be a mixture of people on these podcasts.
It's lovely to see a guy who actually really, really does care about his kids, because there's a lot of guys who don't. So it's nice to see that there is people out there like you that will fight and fight and fight and fight. Because there's a lot that don't.
As much as I know that's true, it's hard for me to believe. It just boggles my mind that there'll be people out there that don't act, the way that they should. So yeah, I know that's true, but it just blows my mind that there's dads out there that would just give up. It's an impossible route to go down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're starting a movement. At least you're turning that kind of pain into power. Do you know what I mean? You're going to...
Got to.
Absolutely. Amazing.
Right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Speak soon.
Bye.